First, there was a proposal at OPEC to reduce global oil production because demand is being affected by the coronavirus. Then, after Russia declined to go along with it, the Saudis cut their prices. The result is an oversupply of cheap oil, the effect of an oil war between Moscow and Riyadh. Let's talk to two people from those two countries. Sergei Brylev is a Russian TV anchor and president of the Global Energy Association, a think tank supported by the Russian energy industry. And Dr. Mohammed Al-Sabban is a former senior advisor to the Saudi Minister for Petroleum, and he joins us from Jeddah. Good morning to you both.
Hello.
Dr. Al-Sabban, the curious thing is that Saudi Arabia wanted to cut production to shore up prices, but it ended up slashing its own prices. So what is going on?
Well, good morning. Thank you for having me. The problem has not started with the Saudi deciding on increasing production. It is with Russia. Russia came to the OPEC meeting on Friday saying that we cannot accept any production cut. And they were predetermined. OPEC delegations gave them gave them different proposals, different compromises, but they upfront rejected. So they were predetermined and they did not accept any proposal. And not only that, but they went to the media outside OPEC headquarters, and Minister Novak told the media that Russia will pump all oil that it can starting April 1st, and it is not abided by any agreement under OPEC alliance. So the one who started the price war is Russia, and not Saudi Arabia.
Okay, so Sergei Brylev, wouldn't it have been a sensible thing to go along with what the Saudis wanted, given that demand for oil around the world has already been affected by the coronavirus?
Well, let me first of all praise our friends in Saudi Arabia, because we're closing our nomination process for the prize, and we've got a Saudi nomination. So, science is always over politics. Now, Russia is not a member of OPEC. That's important. So you had an agreement between Russia and OPEC for the last 4 years, but Russia is not a member. That's point number one. Point number two is that by decreasing the output, Russia and Saudi Arabia were not quarreling with each other. They were actually helping, in a way, the United States. Look at that. Russia and Saudi Arabia were reducing their output. The United States has increased it up to 13 million barrels per day, most of it being shale. So the share of the market, which was vacated by Russia and Saudi Arabia, has been taken by the United States. So it's not that easy. It's not a bilateral thing. It's a very multilateral arrangement we're talking about here.
Dr. Al-Sabban, this is one of the interesting sort of sidebars to all of this, or what some people suspect is the real purpose here. By slashing prices, both Saudi Arabia and Russia are putting a particular squeeze on American shale producers. Their product is more expensive than than oil from elsewhere in the world. So is that the real purpose here, to affect the producers who have significantly increased supply in the last few years?
No, that's nonsense. The shale oil industry is well established. We said the same in 2014, that with lower oil prices, the shale oil industry will vanish. And it never happened. Since then, they increased the efficiency of their production. They lowered the cost of producing a barrel of shale oil. It came from $80 per barrel in 2014 to less than $25 per barrel. And not only that, but ExxonMobil, who is running the premium field, they said that by the end of this year, the cost of the barrel will go down to $9 per barrel. So it is not an excuse. The industry will continue. Maybe some of the debt for the banks will prevent them from growing as fast as they are, but they are not going to be stopped. So let us not fool ourselves. They are continued, and this is only an excuse for Russia not to abide. By the way, since 3 years of cooperation with OPEC alliance, Russia has never fully complied with the commitment that they gave with regard to production cut.
Okay.
And they always find an excuse that, well, because our oil companies, etc., etc.
All right, I want to turn back to Sergei Brylyev now. You didn't give us an answer earlier to the key question of why, in the face of reduced demand, you would want to carry on producing as before.
Well, firstly, we're talking about technical issues here because the cost of production of oil in Saudi Arabia and Russia is two different universes. Unfortunately, it's so much more expensive to produce oil in Russia, and Russia cannot any longer reduce the production because otherwise the wells cannot be reinstated. Talking about the banking sector, which has just been mentioned by our Saudi friends, now $86 billion is the burden of American shale producing companies. So we're talking about an important figure here. It's not just a little detail. So they have indeed lowered their production costs, but $86 billion is there, and they must pay it during the next 4 years. What is important for Russia at the moment is that the budget break-even oil price for the Russian budget stands at $40. If memory serves well, it's around $90 in Saudi Arabia. So Russia can easily withstand a low oil price for about a decade because all of the oil revenues which were coming to the Russian budget for over $40 per barrel we're going to special funds. It stands at $150 billion at the moment.
Okay, Sergei Brylyev and Dr. Mohammed Al-Sabaan, thank you both.